Campaign year 494. Records are a little sketchy for this year. But we do know that the orator, Acacius, and his political rival Bion the Elder gathered numerous forces in northern Greece. Acacius concentrated his forces in Pydna, whilst Bion began the summer campaign season in Larissa. Early in the year, Acacius marched his forces from Pydna to Pella. As Bion marched inland from Larissa to Aegia. At Pella the siege has barely begun, before the local nobles decide to capitulate and join forces with Acacius. Bion's smaller force takes longer, but with the help of agent provocateurs, Aegia finally falls. Acacius, buoyed by his initial success, decides to gather all Macedonia and Thrace under his control. He begins by marching to Therma. Unfortunately for Acacius, Therma refuses to acknowledge him, repeatedly forces back his forces. With Acacius's plans seemingly thwarted and his momentum stalled, he turned to his main strength. Using his oratory skills and political nous, Acacius is able to turn the people of Therma onto his side. Acacius, now realizing that there is a faster and less costly way to fulfill his desire, leads a delegation to Potidæa and convinces them to join his League of City-States. For unknown reasons, it is at this point, late in the campaigning season, that Acacius gathers his forces and sails to Abydos. Bypassing Thrace completely, will he succeed amongst the Aeolians? Battle of Abydos, 494. As Acacius leads his mixed Greek contingent inland, they see the dust of another force approaching. As the two forces form their battle lines, Acacius judges the forces to be evenly matched in numbers, and his confidence rises as he rides amongst his men, reminding them that no Persian is a match for a fighting man of Greece one-on-one. Greek turn 1. Acacius sends his skirmishers out first to test the mettle of the Persians. Persian turn 1. As Persian Sparabara and skirmishers made their way towards the Greek left flank, an impetuous side chariot introduced the Greeks to a different kind of violence. Greek turn 2. Acacius sends a runner to the light troops on his left flank, ordering them to move ahead of the main force, but grows impatient waiting for them to move, and worried about giving the Persians an extended time to unleash their archery. He orders his battle line forward. Persian turn 2. The Persian forces surge forward en masse, and their right flank moves to flank the Greeks with skirmishers moving down the creek, and a Sparabara battalion marching into the cornfield near the creek. As the Persians let loose their arrows, the Greek skirmishers and light cavalry started to take losses. Greek turn 3. The Greek light cavalry and Siloi charge into the oncoming Persians, as Acacius orders the hoplites to engage the main Persian battle line. On the Persians' left, their skirmishers flee from the Greeks. Once combat begins, the Greeks immediately gain the upper hand, with the light cavalry surprisingly throwing the Sparabara into confusion and forcing them back. The hoplites lock shields and easily shove their foe back step after step. Unfortunately for the Greeks, a nasty rumor spreads. That another Persian force even bigger than this one has arrived, and one of the hoplite units turns tail and flees the field. Persian turn 3. The Persian skirmishers on the hill decide to advance into javelin range and pepper the hoplites with missile fire. Whilst on the other side of the battle, the Greek cavalry is joined by their divisional commander, as are the Sparabara, culminating in the cavalry being driven off. In the creek, the opposing light troops, knee-deep in water, continue with a brutal close combat, and the Greek Siloi come out on top, and then turn their attention to the reforming Sparabara unit. Greek turn 4. The Greek Siloi rush forward to support the hoplites as the light cavalry take a break to patch themselves up and catch a quick rest before re-engaging. In the main scrimmage, the hoplites crush their foe and cause the supporting units to fall back in disorder. Persian turn 4. The Persians blooded slowly redressed their ranks and hesitantly creeped back towards the hoplites. Greek turn 5. The Greek light cavalry charge into the depleted Sparabara unit, whilst the hoplites on the far right drive off one skirmisher group, and now face off versus a fresh Sparabara unit. Persian turn 5. With a thunderous roar, a tidal wave of Persian cavalry arrives from the Greek right flank. Immediately they loose their arrows and throw the Greeks into confusion. Meanwhile, the clash between the Sparabara and light cavalry continues, with the Greeks driving the Persians back. Greek turn 6. As the hoplites dive into the center of the Persian line, the Greek cavalry start to give ground in their combat. The hoplites and their skirmisher supports easily overwhelm the Persian line. Persian turn 6. In an earth-shaking rumble, the Persian heavy cavalry charge down the slope and envelop the hoplites. In the combat of the Greek light cavalry and Sparabara, the Greek commander is struck down and the cavalry lose faith and flee the field. In the center melee, the hoplites continue to grind down the Persians, destroying another unit. The Persian heavy cavalry rode right over the hoplites and continued on towards the Greek skirmishers. Greek turn 7. The brave Greek Seloi attempt to buy time for the hoplites and interpose themselves between the cavalry and phalanx. On the hill, the hoplites overcome their confusion to drive off the Persian slingers, but find themselves wedged between Sparabara and cavalry. Persian turn 7. The Persian cavalry charge into the Greek Seloi, who hold their ground and launch a volley of javelins at point-blank range. And on the plain, the rest of the Persian forces advance to surround the remaining Greek forces. Meanwhile, on the hill, the Persians are hesitant to engage the hoplites in hand-to-hand combat, so they wisely choose to stand off and hurl javelins, rocks and launch arrows. In the melee, the Seloi take a toll on the Persian cavalry, but ultimately are wiped out. Greek turn 8. The hoplites on the plain turn to face the oncoming cavalry as the hoplites on the hill. Engage the standoffish Sparabara units and chase them off the hill. Persian turn 8 begins with the light cavalry charging down the hill into the rear of the hoplite phalanx. The Persian commanders make the rounds, re-establishing order amongst their forces as the arrows and javelins start to fly into isolated hoplites. In the cavalry melee, the hoplites take significant damage from the rear charge. Greek turn 9. When all seemed lost, the Greeks show their true mettle. On the slopes of the hill, the hoplites drive off the Sparabara units, turn to the cavalry, and begin to hunt them down. Persian turn 9. The Persians, too afraid to engage the Greeks in combat, sit back and continue a deluge of missile fire. A stray arrow catches Acacius, and with his demise, the hoplites have had enough and scatter. Turn 10. As dusk envelopes the battlefield, the last phalanx defeats the light cavalry, only to be surrounded by the remaining Persian forces, and must decide whether to negotiate a surrender or try to escape in the dark. At the end of the campaign season, the Greeks have established a firm control of Macedonia, but still fail in their attempts to help the Ionian revolt.